Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we got something new to check out. Before we get started, I'd like to say thank you to my beautiful daughter who made this for me. She used to do these types of things for the channel a long time ago, and being that Father's Day was the other day, happy late Father's Day to all the fathers out there. She made this on some canvas. I thought it was super cool, and it's these type of things that have the most meaning to them. And I still have every single picture she ever drew for me, painted for me. And just look what she said. Happy Father's Day to the sharpest dad around. I mean, how cool is that? So thank you, baby. I appreciate it. And like I said, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Well, we have something very interesting today coming from a brand that I'd never heard of. I'm pretty sure Kaiser's their OEM because Kaiser is the one that asked me if I wanted to check this out. It's a very new brand, it looks like. They have 3 models. This is coming from Mirrornex. I checked them out online. Shine with precision. This is the box that it comes in. And then it's just a slide box like this. Crafted for those who shine. So, in the box it comes with a set of latex gloves, and you'll see why in just a second. This is the literature that's inside of it. And there's some pause and read for you for your care for the knife. And here's all their information right here. You can pause that as well. Also inside the box, you get a silky sack. Comes with these latex gloves because this is a completely mirror polished knife. And I mean completely. So I'm going to just say right off the bat, this is more, in my opinion, a collector's piece. Something that you can put on display. This is the Mirrornex Aurora model. They have 2 different variations, a more premium version and a somewhat more affordable version. So as you can see, even that blade is mirror polished. Got a nice spear point blade, and you know, I'll be honest, it's an absolutely stunning knife. I've showed this to a few of my family members and they were all in awe. The polish on this, I would say, is very good. It's not as flawless as, say, Microtech's mirror polishing. I haven't seen too many that do it better than that, where you cannot see any imperfections, even, you know, when you're right up to it. It is just extremely mirrored up. Yeah, I figured it's gonna wreak havoc on my camera. Try to give you a macro up close of that blade, but I did not think my camera was gonna play nice because it's reflecting back into the camera, and I'm not a photographer by any means. Try my best to give you all the best shots I can, but yeah, that's about as close as I'm gonna get. And here's a shot of those scales. So this is a full-size knife. It's coming in at 8.1 inches overall. It has a 3.58 inch spear point blade, as you can see here. And the little bit more affordable version comes in 14C 28N steel. The more premium version comes with Bowler M390 steel. You have a nice little top wedge here, and an extremely bulky tip there. And it's a flat grind, and it's a pretty short grind height, so it's not going to be, you know, the best slicer. But once again, like I said, usually people who are buying something like this are buying it as a collector's piece, because as soon as you start using it, it's going to be all scratched up. Now, if that's fine with you, then yeah, you could definitely use it. There's no jimping up top. My first negative would be no sharpening choil. So as you can see, it goes right into that plunge grind. So if you do plan on sharpening this, you're going to either have to cut you a little sharpening notch in here, or you're going to start to get a recurve in your blade somewhere in this area. You're going to be contacting that plunge grind. But once again, if you plan on buying this as a collector's piece, then that doesn't matter. Of course, this could be an outstanding piercer. You know, that's what that blade shape's designed for. And if you do plan on using it, you definitely better get stuff done with it. They went with 0.157 inch blade stock thickness, so very chunky blade stock there. That's why I say with that short grind height, it's not going to be super thin behind the edge, but as long as it's sharp, it's still going to slice well. One thing that I would like to see on these, they sent me this and it doesn't come with any kind of certificate of authenticity. The reason I'm saying that is because there's no markings at all on this that I can see anywhere. I looked in the inside, on top and bottom, I don't see anything. Nothing on the blade or the tang anywhere. Being that there's two variations of this model, I don't know if this is the 14C version or the M390 version. The 14C version comes with 316 stainless, and majority of the time 316 stainless is non-magnetic anyway. So I wouldn't know if this is the more premium version with M390 and titanium. Now, because of the stats on their site, I am guessing, if I find this out before I edit this, I'll put it up on the screen somewhere, but I'm guessing because of the weight on this knife that this is the more premium M390 version, because on the site it says that version's coming in at 3.32 ounces. I got 3.9 ounces on my scale, and the 316 stainless version is coming in at 4.3 ounces. So they really need to put something on it or give you a card that comes with it so you know which one you have. What if something got mixed up and you're paying quite a bit more for the premium version? But like I said, from the looks of it, this is a fairly new company, and you know they'll get that stuff straight eventually. Let's close it up and take a look at the action. Now this is another kind of negative point. It's a front flipper only action. It is riding on bearings, but being this is a mirror polished blade, the jimping is pretty slippery. And let me take these gloves off. I can't personally front flip it too easy without some wrist. See, because this isn't super slick, whenever I get to right there, I'm hitting that and it's just stopping the blade. If I come around, I can kind of get it, but it's not the easiest. Try it. It's just, I gotta kind of give it a little bit of extra wrist. Now it's also gonna break in, you know, the more and more I open and close it. It's not a fall shut knife. It's actually not, my particular variant is not the smoothest, but I will say it has gotten smoother since I've gotten it. So maybe that action will get a little bit better. As you see there, it depends on how I do it. I'm not the best front flipper either. And as you can see, it's a very clean look. You have absolutely no visible hardware. I think that's stunning. And without the gloves, you just have to forgive me unless I wipe it every 5 seconds. It is going to be a fingerprint magnet. So how they did the screwless construction here, you have this backspacer here. And I forgot who else did it like this. You can see you have those 2 screws in the backspacer. I'm pretty sure the last knife I saw that they had it to where it's got like a little pin here that holds the back together. And then it looks like you have 2 screws up here in the front, probably holding this top scale together from underneath. So definitely cool. The only problem with this is if I get any blade play or my knife's off center or I'm trying to loosen the action a little bit, you can't make a quick adjustment. So you'd have to take that apart, pull everything off, and, you know, fine tune it that way. But bring it back to, if this is going to be a showpiece, collector piece, something you're going to put up, then none of that matters either. You do have some nice contouring on these scales. That's a very nice touch there, and it's extremely comfortable. It's a very neutral handle. The edges right here, being that this is mirror polished, are not sharp at all. And another gripe I have, if you're going to be buying this to actually use it, this is an 8.1 inch knife. Like I said, it doesn't come with a pocket clip. It doesn't come with a pouch. You know, I think a nice little leather slip or pouch would have been nice if you wanted to carry it, especially like a clip slip, because I barely carry slip joints that don't have clips without, you know, a slip or something like that. So a big knife like this, I'm definitely not going to just have this flopping around in my pocket. That's just me. You may not care, but I'm not one to do that. So to bring down the weight on this one, they did put tons of internal pocketing, as you see there. I mean, a lot. Hopefully you can see the lip on the side of the scales, on the top and bottom of the scales. Not to mention, this is an inset liner lock. So you just have this small little locking liner tab, as you see there. And your lockup on this particular knife is sitting at around, I'd say 30 to 40% or so. Access to the lock bar. You got a nice large chamfer here and one on the actual lock bar. It's fairly easy for me to get my thumb in there. This is much more comfortable for me, but no problem. Absolutely no play any direction. Now for some quick size comparisons. It's in the middle of an Ontario Rat 1 and 2, and it's also in the middle of a Spyderco PM2 and Power 3. And it's pretty much identical in length to the full-size Hogue Ritter RSK, and it dwarfs the Mini RSK. And lastly, it's just a hair longer than a Spyderco Manix 2, and it's a little bit bigger than the Benchmade 940. And being that absolutely no knife's perfect, what are my nitpicks and complaints? I think we talked about all of them. It would have been nice to have a sharpening choil here just in case you plan on carrying it and sharpening it. That way you don't have to do it yourself or create a recurve after sharpening it. I also think they should have some sort of marking somewhere, maybe on the inside of the scales, so they don't have to mess with any of the polished stuff, or at least give you a birth card with the knife so you know what steel the knife is, what the scale materials are, make sure they sent you the right knife. What are y'all thoughts on that? And lastly, like I said, there's no pocket clip on this one, and this is not a small knife. If you did plan on carrying this, you'd either have to find some sort of slip to put it in, or an EDC pouch, or just have it dangling in the pocket. So what are my final thoughts? So like I said, if you plan on getting this as a showpiece, I think it's a fantastic knife. I think it's beautiful, and they did a good job with the mirror polish. If you did plan on doing that, I would go with the little bit more affordable one in 14C and 316 stainless. That one's coming in at $188, which I don't think is all that bad, being you have all this crazy polishing going on. But for some reason, if you just want to drop the extra money, you can get the M390 bladed version with the titanium scales. It could be a good bit lighter. However, that one jumps up to $399. So very expensive there. What are y'all thoughts on this? Is this something that would interest you? I think it's a cool concept. You know, for me, it's going to be a little showpiece. I'm probably going to put it somewhere in my home and Hatfield case. I think it's a beautiful looking knife, but you know, just for instance, if I would have done my normal testing on this, that blade would have been marred up pretty good, which I'm fine with. But as much time went into this knife, and being that there's no pocket clip, I don't plan on carrying this one. So it's just going to be a showpiece for me. I definitely love to hear y'all thoughts down in the comments. I'm going to have all necessary links down below in the description. So I'd love to hear y'all thoughts on this. And I hope every single one of y'all is having a fantastic day today. And remember, keep your blade sharp, smile more. Boop, boop, boop.